Hi, I'm back today with another idea for using up these window envelopes that I have a ton of. I don't know if you do or not, but if you don't, you could soon have a ton of them and just go to your mailbox if your mail is like ours. So today what I thought I'd do is do a policy envelope type pocket. And I'm going to make it where this side is the side with the attachments that you close it with, and then the window will be on this side. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off this excess part here because I just want the one layer for the flap. And I'm just going to use my scissors to do this. And I'm just going to cut across the end here. I'll cut this like this. And I'm cutting down to that point right there. That's where I want to end that. And then on this side, I need to cut it down. I may need to retrim this once I get my page collage, or the envelope collaged. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and just cut this. That is the shape I want for the opening, so it's easier to get to the items I'm gonna put inside. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do that, and then when I put the paper on, I can just follow this line to adjust. Okay. I just used a saucer to draw that shape there. If you have a compass, you could use one of those, or just wing it or fold it in half and cut half the circle, and that would give you a round shape, or it could be square shape. It doesn't have to be round. And then I'm going to cut this just off here where this ragged part is, and I hope that will go across. Now what I'm going to need to do is attach the brad and the circle here, the cardboard circle. So I'm going to go ahead and make those. I have some, this is just packaging for allergy medicine. It came in a box. It has this white side to it. It's a nice weighted cardboard. It's a little thicker than cardstock, but it's good for doing something like this. So I'm going to take my 1-inch punch and just punch 2 holes, or two pieces like that. And I want to put some decorative paper on these. I have this. I've been trying to flatten this paper out. It's been rolled up for a long time. This was wallpaper that was in my mother-in-law's house, and I don't remember it there, so it's been at least 30-something years that this paper was used. Anyway, I kind of like this blue color because I have some other papers that I'm going to use in blue, and then maybe just that part there. So I'll just cut from this end and put it back in to flatten out some more, hopefully. Oh, knocking things over. I'm just going to go down here and all I'm really trying to do is make sure that I have it inside of the cutting edge there. If it's not lopsided. So there's one. It doesn't like this paper very much. There we go. Sometimes you can press on this inside part and make it go back up. And sometimes you have to get like your scissors, or maybe not your scissors, that might ruin your scissors, but something that you can poke it pretty good. Let's see, what did I end up with? I got that one, and I think I'm gonna try for this blue, a little bit of the blue. Okay, that one cut better than the other one did. Okay. Come out. Okay, I will put that back later. Okay, so I need to glue those to these pieces, and I think I'll use Fabri-Tac on that just because I want it to stay stuck and not cause me trouble later. I'm just gonna spread this around on here and then put the wallpaper on there. And I'm just kind of moving it around a little bit to spread that glue out, and then rolling it between my fingers and touching the edge to get it to even out that way. And then getting it off my fingers because the glue comes out the edge. And I'll do the other one. And get this one on. Doing the same thing, just kind of squeezing it around a little bit and pressing it down. And I have too much glue on my fingers for this. Okay, so now we have our two pieces to wrap the string around. If you're not familiar with what a policy envelope is, it's one that has like these two pieces, two buttons, we'll call them, on the envelope. I need to move that down a little bit. And then it has a string attached to one, and it wraps around either both of them in a figure eight or just around the bottom, or however you want to set it up. But that's how that works. And I think I am going to move that down just a little bit more because it's a little too close to the edge there. All right. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and I can't glue this down yet because I need to cover this in paper and get this attached to that before I glue the opening down, because I need to be able to get to that. So what I'm going to do is, let me show you the papers I'm planning to use. I'm going to use this paper with this stamp of the Paris on it on this side. And I'm going to put it down where it's below those things that doesn't really interfere with that. And then on the other side, I'm going to use the music page in this piece and some dictionary page. And I don't think I'll need these pieces, but in case I do, there they are. So, all right, let us, I think the smart thing to do would be to cut this to be the right size before I get into it too far. And I think I'm going to leave that on there just a little bit because it might be fun to have that little writing space right there. And I'm just going to fold that. I need to tear that or cut it. I think I'm going to tear it off. Like there. And then this will come to there. Now I could just let that go on around the edge there to that side. But I'd really rather have this diagram stuff on there, so I think I'll just cut it off there. So I'm just going to take my ruler and tear this. Now let me get that on a line so it's a little bit easier to manage it. Okay. And then I decided not to do that, but I do need to stop this at where I want to come to with it, which is about right there. I'm just going to go a little bit more just to have a little wiggle room. Okay. So my next step is to place this brad in the button. I don't like the way that looks right there. It's a little bit ragged. Let's see if I can even it up a little bit. I think that may be glue. Probably end up with glue on my scissors. This is just that glue eraser. I'm just going to use it a little bit to clean up that edge. Rub it a little bit. The Fabri-Tac glue will generally ball up when you rub on it. So if it's still in the drying phase, if it goes too far, it won't. So you need to keep that in mind if you're doing that. Okay. Don't know if it matters too much which one goes where. So these are almost a little bit too big. If I had my druthers, I would have them a little bit smaller. But the next size down I have is this one, which is, I think it's a 1/2 inch. And I think that size would be too small. So I'm going with this. Now I need to poke a hole in the center of this. This is just a piece of cardboard. So I'm just kind of lining this up with that line and this line here to kind of have an idea where the center is on that. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I don't know, I kind of want it to be suitable. I don't know if I got that through far enough to tell where to stick it again. There we go. I'm not going to make that any bigger. I was thinking I would use this brad to go in there, but I may use the smaller one just because of the size of the piece. That might be a little clunky looking, I don't know. But I don't have to decide that right this second. We'll decide that in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and glue this paper to this with that open and not glue there. Not glue over past there or so. I'll go ahead and stick that hole there. And then I'll come back and punch it again with this on it. So, all right, I'm just gonna glue this with some Elmer's Craft Bond Extra Strength glue stick. And I only need to come over about there for right now. This is kind of the most tricky part of this, is getting the brads and that through the paper. And there may be an easier way of doing this that I hadn't thought of. And if you have a suggestion, I'd be glad to hear it. Because I didn't think of another way it could be done. And get it all coming together right, so. Anyway. All right, I'm gonna put this down at the bottom here. Just want it up to that edge there, and up. Something's not straight here. Needs to be down there a little better. I may need to just ink that edge. I don't want to stick that down to my paper, and that's what's happening. So, okay. I'm just going to make a wide swoop here. I hope I didn't mess that up. If I did, I'll just collage something over the top of it. Okay, I'm gonna get this on here and then I'll come back and fuss with that in a minute. I think what I'm gonna do is just go through this side and just poke right there where I had it, so I know where it is. And then do that. Now, the other brads I was thinking about using, these are spare parts. It's a Hobby Lobby brand of these little smaller ones. I like that rose gold color on that, so I think that's what I'm going to use. The string is going to go behind it, so I think that'll be fine like that. But I do think I want to ink this. That just covers up that white edge a little bit and blends it all in together. I think it looks better that way. It also makes this show up a little better on the page, I think. Since everything else is kind of a muted tone, it would look strange if the white was showing too much. So I'm going to put this on here. Press that back a little bit just to make sure there. And put this in there and fold those down like that. Press that. And to keep that from catching on anything, press that with my bone folder a little bit there. Actually, I think I'm going to get a piece of washi tape and put over that, just so that it has a smooth place to slide. This is some new washi tape that I got recently, so I think I'll use that. But I found this, what I was looking for, the stripe piece, so maybe I will punch one of those and put it over that, and then put the washi tape on top. I think I need to run, or use some aluminum foil on my punch. It's wanting to hang up. I don't know why it's doing that. So I can demonstrate how to make it stop doing this way. You have to get rough with it. I don't want to be rough with it, but it demands it. Okay, I'm just going to cut that a little bit even there. I'm probably taking 3 hours longer than I need to do with this. I can make a simple project take a long time. It's talent. Oh, seriously. Okay, now I just want to put this. This is just a camouflage job, is what this is, just to cover up the back of that brad. It's not perfect, but anyway. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of this washi tape across there. I think that'd be pretty. So we'll just do it, see what happens. I'm going to put some glue on it too, because we know it's not the stickiest, although this seems pretty sticky. I got this at Hobby Lobby not too long ago, because I didn't have any wide washi tape. Most of mine is like, this was probably the widest I had before that, so. Oh, glue everywhere. Definitely gonna be in line to wash my hands. Okay, let's see if I can get this in here semi kind of straight. And just put it down. It goes across. No, it's not straight. Second time. Hopefully we'll be the charm. Okay, let's see. A little bit further. That looks fairly straight. It doesn't have to be too straight because I have something in the pocket, but I just wanted it to be smooth there when I slide things in and out. Okay. I'm going to glue this piece down here, and then that piece down. So I'm just going to put the glue in here, and hopefully not on there. Okay. And then I'm going to glue this down. And mainly it needs to be glued on the edges there. Stick a piece of paper under there. So I can glue out to the edge of that. Okay. All right. I just need to take my card and press this down. And I have that torn a little bit uneven, but hopefully I can camouflage that. Now, don't think that's straight there. Almost there. There we go. Now we can go to the other side and cover this. I want to use that. Just tear that off. Maybe just a tiny bit to cover up the edge there. And then I'll put the other on there. I'm going to tear it. I'm going to tear it about here. And then I'm going to glue it on. I'm thinking about this, where this window is. So I made a little round corner, a template that matches that I can put up here and hopefully match up with where the edge of that is. And I'm going to try this. I don't know if I can do it or not. I'm just going to draw around this and go down. And then I'm going to turn this way. And go up. And we'll see how this works. I've been trying to figure out how to make these round corners because I really do like the round corners. And I even looked online to see if they make corner rounders that are inverted, and they do, but it's not exactly what this is. It's more like what you would use to cut the, like a divot in a ticket or something like that. It's not something you could just go in sideways and cut that kind of corner. They're smaller from what I saw. I didn't look too extensively, but anyway, that was what I saw. Okay, let's see how this looks. Okay, I'm glad I wrapped that around because I need to bring this over just a little bit, but otherwise, it's not too bad. And I'm going to glue this and put it on. I made another piece the other day, thinking about doing another one of these envelopes. And it's similar to this, but it's a little bit different. I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. It's also a pocket with a flap. And I learned something from Kathleen Maurer about when you have things that go over a fold, that it's best if you can take off any extra so that you just have one piece of paper where the paper is folded, so that it makes a smoother fold. It doesn't buckle up there. So I don't know why I hadn't thought of that before, but I'm glad to know it now. So I thought I'd do that on this page. It's not glued down. I don't know how my fingers can get so sticky and the paper doesn't have any glue on it. Okay, that is that. Hopefully it's okay. Now, I was going to put this music page on this side, and I want it to come down about right there. But I also want to have the round corners on it too. I'm going to take this bottom white part off of this. And then I want it to be, I don't know if that's straight or not. I kind of want those music notes to be on there like that. And take that off up there, just above that. I'm going to take this off also. Let's get the other way. Here we go again. Experimental. It might be just better to not have rounded corners. Just go straight across. It certainly would be faster. Oops, too far. Okay, I don't know if that's good or bad. Let's see what it looks like here. Back to gluing. Around this window like I want it. It's the main thing. Like that. But it's not quite close enough there. Okay. So I'm going to take it up to right there and cut that off there. So I'm not going to be going over the edge this time. So the flat fold's better. There, finally. Now I need something for just that part right there, and I thought I was going to use this little part, this little bird cage that I thought would be pretty with the French thing. And I'm going to tear a little bit off the bottom here. I'm just going to ink this and leave it. And I think I'm going to tear this edge just a bit also, and it's not going to be a straight tear. Just that. I want this to be up even with that. The other way I could do it would be put the bird cage on and this flower over here. Do I like that better? I think I do. Okay. So that glues up there, and that glues over there. Okay, it's time to glue. I always think of these projects and I think, oh, this will be a quick one. I can't seem to do quick. Get caught up in all the details of it, and it just doesn't work out. Okay, that is that. And then on the back, I want to cover this and put this piece on. So maybe a little music in that. Music in this. Maybe a piece of that. Just a little bit there. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this on there like that. And this time I'm just gonna glue this flap. Go ahead and cut this off around there and here. And try not to cut my envelope here. You know what? I think it's time for the knife again. I don't trust my scissors not to get into that envelope there. I don't want to cut my flap off. Okay, let's see if this will work. Go up against that. Just do a little bit here. Also, by cutting that off and not just running it over the edge, you're able to turn it where it's right side up on the back there. Okay, I need a little piece of this to go on here. I don't really want it to say bankruptcy. Maybe we'll just go with this part here. And that could be a little longer and scoot over there, but then I have that problem again. Let's see. It has ballerina on it. Let's tear this down here. And put this on here. Okay. I'm going to put this over this way. Something right there. What do I have? Oh, I could put this rose there. That would be pretty. Okay, I like that. I think that looks pretty. Okay, now I need to trim this up on the inside and round that corner. But first, I'm going to trim off this edge. Like that. And I'm going to round them both ways because I seem to get a better round. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's me or the corner rounder. Okay, now we just need to put the other one of the pieces on. This one. Oh, that's going to cover up ballerina. Oh well, too bad. Okay, let's see if I can see where I drew the. I can't see it, so I'll do it this way. Just about right there, I think. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. See if that's about even Steven. Side to side. It's a little close this way. Sometimes I think I can be not so precise, but then I end up doing it anyway. I'll put this cardboard back over here so I don't poke a hole in my mat. Okay. I think I did anyway. Yes, I did. Oh well. And then this one. There we go. Looks pretty good in the middle. Get my other little brad. And it looks like it's not glued right there. Don't know if I can get glue under there or not. There we go. I think I did. This side of that card's kind of slick. I probably should have hit it with a piece of sandpaper or something before I started gluing on it. But I didn't, so. All that trouble I went to get ballerina on there, and there's no ballerina to be had. Okay, let's see. Which way does this go? There we go. The only thing about that makes it kind of bumpy with that on there, but I guess it doesn't really matter. So, now, we are almost done. I need to cut this off because I don't like the way that looks there, sticking out. Seems like there's always some corners that didn't get glued down right. And I need to trim off that bottom edge also. That could probably be trimmed off a bit more too. Hopefully I won't get into my card, my envelope. And this needs to be trimmed down here. I hope I didn't open that envelope up. Oh, I did. I cut right through that. I think what I'm going to do is use some of this washi tape and just go over the bottom of that because I don't want it being open at the bottom. I goofed. So I'll just put a little glue on this and we'll see what happens. Hope for the best. Donkey tracks. Okay, I'm gonna stand up so I can see this a little bit better. And get it on there straight as I can. Let's see. How wide is this? 1.25 inches, so maybe like that. And turn that up at the bottom. Just a little design by mistakes. Okay, that looks cute, I think. And now I'm gonna trim this off and try not to cut into the envelope there. There. Okay. Only thing left to do is put some string on the closure. Today I thought I would just use some of this string. It's just regular twine. And I'm gonna tie it around this. And double tie it just so it doesn't come loose. And I'm gonna cut that end off. And then make enough to go down here, around that, back up around this, and one more time here, I think maybe that much, and then just loose. And I'm gonna tie a knot in it because it would maybe tend to fray. Push it down to the end as best I can. So that's our policy envelope. I have this I want to put inside, and maybe tag or something also. I haven't decided about that. But, or a guest check. I could put a guest check in there. I thought it'd be pretty to put some fern on this. And there's not a lot of blue, of green on there. There's a little bit in that washi tape and stuff, but I'm gonna do green because that's what color I feel like fern should be. So, where is my brush? I'm gonna wipe this off just a little bit. I don't know what I last did with that. Okay. And let's see. I think I just want it to just be like that. Like that. Okay, so we can put that in our pocket. That's the envelope. And this way. There we go. And you can put other things in there too. You could put a guest check in there. And maybe a tag. Just lots of little things to discover in there. Okay, there we go. Oh, I was going to show you the other one I made. This is the one I made. And I made it before I saw Kathleen's video where she talked about not putting too many layers on the fold. So I just went back in with my knife and I cut through that layer and just opened that up so it's a little bit better. But on this one, what I did is I covered the inside and then I cut a die, this die set. I used that one. And I used some watercolors and put some speckles on it and things to try to imitate that. And I used another die. I used one of these doily dies. I used this largest doily die to cut this edge. The way I did it was I placed it where it was just touching the corners there. And when I ran it through the die machine, I ran it from this edge and I came up until I felt like it was there. It's a little bit risky, but since it goes off the edge of the page, if you don't go real far, you don't get into cutting your envelope otherwise. And I thought that left a cute edge. Only thing was I decided to put a coffee filter on the back of this, and so I had to cut it again, and thankfully I got it lined up right, so it cut right. But anyway, that's this little envelope. Just a little pouch with, you could put whatever you wanted to in there. And I put this paper clip on the top edge because it doesn't close the best. I hope you enjoyed the video today and got some ideas. There are lots of ways to do this, and there are probably better ways of getting around making the round corners on that, but that was the only one I could think of at the time. So anyway, it is done and ready to go in a journal. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. If you think about it and want to, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it so much. Bye.